Be the best at what you do. A move practiced 1,000 times, tested through success and failure, becomes part of who you are. It flows naturally, without hesitation, and gives you confidence on the other hand. An untested move, whether in a fight, in your career, or in life, may look impressive but carries risk. If you use it for the first time in a critical moment, you stand on shaky ground, unsure of the outcome. Relying on practiced wisdom and proven strengths doesn't mean avoiding growth. When life tests you, it is not the new, unpolished idea that saves you. It is the skill, the decision-making, the resilience you have shaped and refined over and over again. So, practice your moves, whether in thought, in action, or in spirit, until they become your nature. Then, when the moment comes, you will not need to think. You will simply act and succeed. To elaborate this, let me tell you a story. Claire Walker was born in Miles City, Montana, the kind of place where everyone knew your father's truck and the color of your back porch. Her world was wide open in all the wrong ways. Big skies, empty fields, and nowhere to hide when life decided to notice you. Her father, Michael Walker, was a mechanic, quiet and deliberate in everything he did. Her mother had left when Claire was 8, and the absence was like a door in the house that nobody opened anymore. The trouble started when she was 15. It was autumn, and the air smelled like wheat dust. She was walking home from school when she saw 2 boys from her class cornering a younger kid in the alley behind Harland's Hardware. They were shoving him against the wall, laughing, asking for his phone. Claire told them to back off. They didn't. She stepped forward, told the kid to run. One of the boys grabbed her arm. She reacted without thinking. A sharp elbow to the ribs, a knee to his stomach, just like her father had taught her in the garage when she was younger. In case you ever need to get someone off you. The boy went down hard, wheezing, and the other ran. But by the time the sheriff's deputy rolled up, all anyone saw was Claire standing over a local football player clutching his side. Nobody wanted to hear about the smaller kid who'd already fled. The football player's family called her dangerous. The school suspended her. Juvenile court gave her community service and a record. Her father never yelled at her for it. He just came home late one evening, laid an old pair of leather boxing gloves on the kitchen table, and said, "If they're gonna think you're dangerous, at least know what you're doing." From that week on, she trained in the back of the garage. Not just punches. He taught her how to stand, how to move, how to read people's weight shifts, and how to stop a fight before it started. By the time she graduated, she'd learned something else. Once you've been marked as trouble, the town will never unmark you. College became her way out. She got into a mid-tier university in Chicago on a scholarship. The city felt like another planet. Noise everywhere, strangers brushing past without even looking at you. The first month was quiet. She kept her head down, went to classes, spent evenings in the library. But trouble has a way of finding people like Claire. It began in the cafeteria one Tuesday. She was carrying her tray when she heard it. The sound of laughter that wasn't tea laughter. At a table near the window, a group of athletes had taken a guy's wheelchair and were pushing it just out of his reach. While he sat on the floor, the kid's face was red, his voice shaking as he told them to stop. Claire set down her tray. She walked over. Slow, steady. "Give it back." One of them smirked. "Mind your business." She reached past him, grabbed the wheelchair, and pulled it to the kid. There, business-minded. The guy stood, all muscle and arrogance. "You're trying to embarrass me." "I don't need to try," she said. He took a swing, sloppy, telegraphed, and she caught his wrist, twisting until he hissed in pain. The cafeteria went silent. She let him go, told the kid to roll away. Then she sat back down like nothing happened. But she knew the looks had started. 2 weeks later, there was the frat party incident. She'd gone with her roommate, Emily, who was still starry-eyed about Greek life. The music was loud enough to make the walls pulse. Claire was near the kitchen when she saw a girl being steered down a dark hallway by a guy whose hand was locked around her wrist. The girl was mumbling, "I'm fine," but her eyes kept darting toward the crowd. Claire followed. In the narrow hallway, she grabbed the guy's shoulder. "Let her go. Walk away," he said. "I'm not walking anywhere." He shoved her. Her back hit the wall, and something cold inside her uncoiled. In one motion, she slammed her palm into his chest, forcing him back, then hooked her foot behind his ankle and took him down. The girl ran. People poured in from the main room. Phones were out. Claire was suddenly the center of a storm she hadn't wanted. The next morning, she was called into the dean's office. "We've had reports of physical altercations. The dean said, eyes unreadable. Claire tried to explain, but she could see the word again forming in the woman's mind. The worst incident came in spring. It was in the basement of the old student center, the air damp and dim. Claire had gone down for a soda from the old vending machine. She turned the corner and saw 3 upperclassmen, 2 guys and a girl, crowding a freshman against the wall. His books were on the floor. They said, "Give us your money and we'll leave you alone." Claire told them to stop. The freshman bolted, and they turned to her instead. She backed toward the wall, hands raised. "Please," she said, her voice quiet. "Let me go. I won't do this again. I'm not looking for a fight." They laughed. "No, I mean it," she said. "Please, I don't want to hurt you. And I will not be blamed again. Not this time." For a moment, they hesitated. Then the nearest guy reached for her arm. The change was instant. Her hand caught his wrist, twisted, used his body as a barrier, while she drove a knee into the second guy's gut and an elbow into the girl's jaw. They went down hard. By the time she got back to her dorm, her hands were shaking. She'd meant every word when she begged them to let her go. But in her world, nobody ever listened until it was too late. Rumors spread. She was that violent girl from Montana. Some avoided her. Some tried to provoke her, just to see if the stories were true. Her professors started watching her more closely. Emily, her roommate, grew distant, afraid of getting pulled into whatever trouble Claire seemed to attract. Claire kept going to class, kept training in secret at a small boxing gym a few blocks from campus. But the city was starting to feel a lot like her hometown, a place where she was always one bad moment away from being blamed again. And somewhere out there, though she didn't know it yet, trouble was circling with her name already written on it.